What's up, y'all? It's me, Jerome, and I'm back with another video. This is going to be in reference of that TikTok that I made Friday night. And at first I wasn't going to do a video, but after talking to my best friend and my sister, I was like, you know what? Let me let the people know about this video because, or not the video, but let the people know about my date because this one is still taking me back, y'all. When I was talking to the guy, I've been talking to the guy for probably about a week and a half, 2 weeks. And then we came up with we should go have a date. And so he came up with we should go to the drive-in to see some movie. I don't know what it was, but it was the newest Marvel movie that just came out. So we was looking at that one. And so, yeah, that was that. So this is how it went. I knew we was going to a drive-in, so I wanted to dress very comfortable. And so I said, you know what, let me just throw on a little jogging suit, let me throw on some sneakers, and I'm good. So threw that on. I was looking nice. I don't think I have a picture to show y'all, but I was looking nice. Before we got started with the date or planning out the date, he had asked me, is it okay for him to come to my home to pick me up? And I was like, yeah, sure, that's cool. You could come to my home and pick me up. That's fine. You know, we're going to a drive-in. It's cool. And plus, you know, we've been FaceTiming each other and we've been building a relationship and so on and so forth. So I said it was cool. Earlier that day, he did ask me, he's like, hey, I'm going to the store. What type of snacks do you like? And I responded with some snacks, but he said by the time I sent the text message, then he was already gone from the store. So anyway, that's not even important. So anyway, Friday night, we're going to the 11 o'clock show, and he came to my house, I want to say a little bit after 9, or maybe close to 9:30, 9:40. 9:40. It was 9:40. And so when he told me when he was on his way to my house, I'm thinking because where he stayed at, I was like, okay, it's going to take him probably a good 30 minutes. Just a good 30 minutes. Me, probably 20, 25, just depending on how you drive. He texted me and told me it was going to take him an hour to get to my house. So I'm just like, how's it going to take you an hour? There's no way it's going to take you an hour. So he sent me the screenshot of the map showing from his house to my house on the distance. And y'all, when I seen it on there, the navigation said 34 minutes. So I'm looking like, this says 34 minutes. This doesn't say, this does not say an hour. So he did a LOL and that was it. Y'all, when I finish this story, I'll tell you this story. I'm going to tell you why it took him a fucking hour. So anyway, he comes to my house. He rings the doorbell. So, you know, I'm taking my time because I'm like, okay, this is going to be my first time really seeing him because the only time I see him is on FaceTime. And so this is going to be like the introduction for us seeing who we are. Now, the reason why I'm like this is because lately when I've been dating guys, they've been kind of sketchy with their height. And when I say sketchy with their height, I went out on a date with a guy that told me he was 5'10", but then when I met him in person, I was taller than him, and he told me it was my shoes, but I'm like, I have dress shoes on, and they're not even thick. They're the thin sole. And then he told me I was lying. I was like, nigga, I go to the doctor. That's one. And then other than that, other guys just been very, very off with their height. Now, don't get me wrong. I know that, you know, some people really don't know how tall they are, but you can't be drastically off. When I opened up the door, I didn't even think about the height. The first thing I saw was this fur coat he had on, y'all. I was so done. So before I knew it, you know how I am, y'all. I do not think first. I speak what I'm thinking. And it just came out. And I said, why the fuck do you have that on? And y'all, he was like, what are you talking about? And I was like, who wears a fur coat? I was like, we are in Atlanta and it is fall. So he started blowing his breath in the air, talking about some, look, it's 40 degrees outside. I was like, number one, nothing's not coming out of your mouth. And I said, number two, we live in Atlanta. I said, you do know tomorrow it's going to be 70 degrees probably. And so he's like, nah, it's cold outside. There's nothing wrong with my jacket. You just hating on my jacket. So I was like, come in. And so when he came in, y'all, he was so goth. And I was just like, where the fuck did this come from? I did not even see this coming. Now, mind y'all, when I am FaceTiming with him, he always have on like maybe a t-shirt, probably a tank or something. And I asked him, I said, hey, let me see your whole body, you know what I'm saying? Because, I want to see what's going on. And so he'll always have like sweatpants on, pajama pants, whatever the case may be. So I'm like, okay, cool. Y'all, he had on this black fur coat. He had on a gray shirt that was oversized. He had on some tight, skinny black jeans with some cuts in it and some Doc Martens. I was just like, this is too much for me. I can't deal. And y'all, I'm not even getting on the outfit part because I get that you need to be comfortable, especially when you go into a drive-in. But the fur coat, that was just overkill. Like, I could not do it. So anyway, I let him in. The first thing he said is, see, I told you I'm 5'10", 5'10" or 6 feet or whatever. And I was like, yeah, you're tall. That's cool because I like tall guys. And so when he came in, I made a little short conversation with him or short talk with him, and he did the same or whatnot. And I'm just thrown away by this fucking jacket. And I'm just like, I cannot believe you have this on. And so he was like, there's nothing on my jacket. Where I'm from, everybody wears. And I said, yeah, you're right. Because he's originally from DC. And I don't know if the DC girls get down with the fur jacket like that. But when I went to DC, that's all they talk about is these fur coats. And I'm just like, this is too over the top. Like, I can't deal with it. So anyway, after that, he was like, look, we need to get going because the movie starts at 11 and I want to get something to eat before we get there. So I was like, okay, cool, we can do that. So y'all, we get out the house, shut the door. I'm walking to his car and I'm just like, what the fuck is going on with his car? Now, I know I'm very particular, y'all, because I wash my car 1 to 2 times a week, which I know is probably a little obsessive, but that's just me. I wash my car 1 to 2 times a week. And he told me he's going to clean out his car because he said he lives in his car, basically. So I was just like, whatever. It was a bit dirty, so I was like, whatever. It's cool. It's cold outside. He got a fur coat on. This is probably the most for him. So we get inside the car, and I notice that on his windshield, it is writing all across the fucking windshield. And when I say writing, like green, yellow, purple, blue, orange, all kinds of like scribble, scrabble all through the window. So I said, what's going on with your windshield? And y'all, this is what I'm thinking. We going to a fucking drive-in. How am I supposed to see this movie and you got all these notes on here? Like, you really doing a lot here. So he told me that when he is in deep thought and he needs to get stuff off his brain so he won't forget, or just ideas or whatever the hell he comes up with, he says that he writes his notes on his windshield while he's driving. I wait. So then I was like, you got to be killing me. Because y'all, I thought he had just bought the car. He's like, no. Then he proceeds to open up his glove compartment or the armrests, whatever it's called, and pulls out the markers in the magic eraser or the dry eraser. And I'm just like, this is really crazy. So while he's doing that in his motherfucking fur coat, he's in his phone and he's looking for places to eat. And so I told him that, I know the area because I used to live over there. Let's just go ahead and drive in that area so we can cut time. And I'll tell you what's over there on our way there. So he was like, cool. So I don't even know why I told him that because that aggravated me a little more. So I'll just go ahead and throw this in here that I get back on the story. He did not even use the navigation while we was going to the drive-in. And I guess he didn't use the navigation because we was going to get something to eat first. But nevertheless, he still should use that navigation because I had to tell him everywhere to go. But we'll get to that. So anyway, where I live at, my driveway has a slight incline on it. And y'all, when he put the car in reverse, it wouldn't even go. He had to use 2 hands to get the car out of park to go into reverse. So I was just like, oh gosh. And y'all, I started to say, hey, let's just take my car. But I did not want to be rude, y'all. And I know I should have said something because, it's my well-being and I'm out there in the streets and could be stranded. But I was like, you know what? This man set up this whole date. He wants it to be perfect. This is cool. I'll just let him do him. So he put the car in reverse. He backed it up. He put it in drive. And he proceeds to drive forward. And I'm guessing he hit the gas a little too hard because when that motherfucking car changed gears, y'all, it skipped several beats. And I was just like, oh My goodness. So anyway, after we did that, we head on down the road, get on the interstate, and we are headed to East Atlanta so we can go to the drive-in. And as we're driving on the interstate, oh gosh, several things happened. The first one was he is a slow ass driver. And when I say slow, y'all, for those of y'all that live in Atlanta, y'all know that we do above the speed limit and we're very excessive when it comes to driving beyond the speed limit. Y'all, this man, no lie, drove 50 to 55 on the interstate, us going to the movie theater. Hence to why it took him an hour to get to my place to his. And y'all ain't trying to tell all this man business, but I'll just say this. He stays somewhere near Cumberland Mall to my house, and to Cumberland Mall to my house, it should have taken him at least, at least 22 minutes. At least, especially the time of night he came, because there was nothing going on, especially with the parade and everything that was happening from the Braves winning the World Series. So that was that. So we're down there forever, just driving on the road. We get behind another car that was probably driving damn near 40, 45. Y'all, he stayed behind the whole time with that car until that car merged off. He turned on his signal light to get over, but the car merged over to get off on the exit. He sped up just a little bit, just to 50, 55, but he kept that signal light on the whole time, y'all. I was going fucking crazy, but I didn't say nothing about it. Now, this is the thing that's driving me crazy about the driving, y'all, that I'm going to get to the next part. He's always bringing up, oh, I'm such a southerner. Oh, you so southern, you so country, this, that, and the other. But your ass from DC, but you drive like you fucking from the country. And I don't understand that. Like, this is crazy. But nevertheless, I digress. So as we're going to the movie theater on the interstate, the music selection that he was listening to was kind of different for me. We was listening to Aretha Franklin. Now, there's nothing wrong with Aretha Franklin. I told him while we were talking, because we was having a little small talk, I was like, what are we listening to? And he said, this is Aretha. And I was like, why are we listening to Aretha Franklin on our date? And so he said, well, you know, I like Aretha. And I said, well, I like her too, but I thought that when we were talking about Aretha Franklin, we was making conversation about the movie Respect. I didn't know we was going to listen to her whole album while we was headed to the movies. So he was like, oh, you don't like my music. I could change it. I said, no, you can leave it how you want to. It's perfectly fine. Y'all, I should never say nothing about Aretha, because after that, I think the boy played some kind of techno music, which is fine for him or whatever. Some rock or something. I don't know what the fuck it was. I was just like, I shouldn't even say nothing. So I was whatever. And he knew the words. So I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going out with a goth person, didn't even know he was goth. So we get off the exit to where the restaurants was at. Actually, we got off to the next exit to where one restaurant was at, because I started naming off the places. I think it was Checkers, Cookout, Wendy's, Crystal's, probably something else. He's like, ew, I don't want that. I don't like that. That's just, I don't understand how y'all Southerners eat that food. There he go again. So the place he choose, y'all, because I didn't choose nothing, was Domino's. Now, this is the thing. While we were listening to Aretha Franklin and everything else under the sun that I didn't want to listen to, but that goddamn signal light on, I told him, well, he asked me, what did I want to eat? And I said, look, whatever you want to eat, because I'm a pescatarian. So whatever you choose to eat, I could find something on the menu. So then he insisted and was like, no, I want to get something that you want to eat so that way you'll be cool, because I want you to be comfortable on the date. And I said, okay, well, it's very late and I don't eat late at night. I said, so I do appreciate the gesture, but you know, you go ahead and pick the place. And he came up with Domino's. Now, this is my thing. Domino's, Crystals, Cookout, to me, all this shit is the same. Ain't nothing authentic about Domino's Pizza, but that was that. So we pull up at Domino's Pizza, we get out the car, and you know, I've witnessed this for years and from time to time where the employees forget to lock the door at a certain time. It is what it is. So we walked into the restaurant, and when we walked in, we went to the front, and I was like, hey, how you doing? And the guy said, oh, my bad, I forgot to lock the door. He said, we're only doing delivery and carry out. Not carry out, we're only doing delivery and pickup. And he was like, did you have an order that you want to pick up? And I said, no, we were just going to make an order. He said, no, I'm sorry, we can't do that. And I said, okay, cool. So I turned around and I walked to the door to get out. When I swing open the door, I turn around. the goth guy is just looking clueless. And I was like, can you come on? He was like, well, wait, this doesn't make sense. I said, what doesn't make sense? And he was like, well, the door was open. They just gonna turn us down. I mean, we are paying customers. We could at least get a pizza or something. And I was like, these people are ready to go home. They forgot to lock the door. Let's go and get something else. We wasting time. So then he calls me impatient, and y'all, I owned it and I took it. And I was just like, okay, let's go. So we get outside and we're walking to his car, and I noticed that his bumper is hanging a little bit. So I went to the front of his car and I'm just like, you know, your bumper hanging. I was like, what happened? And he was like, oh yeah, I noticed that like a few months ago when I got it. He's like, but I just didn't pay it no mind. I'm just like, this boy here is just like whatever. So that was that. So anyway, we get in the car and he was like, I really want to get something to eat. And I was like, well, you know, we need to go to the movies because it's about to start soon and we're going to be late. He said, well, they do have food at the concession area. Do you want to eat there? And I said, well, I'm good. I was like, we can go ahead and go to the movies. If I see something at the concession area, I'll go ahead and get it, but I'm really good. I said, I promise you I am. I said, I'm going to have my water here. I'm good. And then I said, well, and then you bought snacks. And he said, oh, I didn't buy the snacks because you took too long to reply. I'm like, okay, well, I'm fine. I have my water. We're good. So we proceeded to go to the movies. And when we was headed to the movie theater, the street that we were on, they had the restaurants that I was talking about earlier. And he said, oh my God, they got restaurants. We can go here. I told you about those restaurants, goth guy. You said you didn't want to eat there. You wanted Domino's. So he was like, okay, well, we're going to get something over here. So he proceeds to go opposite of the theater. And the first place we ran to was Burger King. He was like, oh, they got Burger King. You want Burger King? And I was like, that's cool. I can get something from Burger King. That's perfect. As we turned into Burger King, he noticed Papa John's was to his left. So he was like, oh, there's Papa John's. What about that? And I said, whatever you want to get. So he wants to get Papa John's. He turns into Papa John's. Now, I said, you know, this movie's about to start in 10 minutes and we about to get a whole pizza and it probably take 10 minutes to make the pizza. And he was like, well, that's okay because, you know, they start the movie early at Starlight. Yeah, Starlight. I'm about to say Starship. And I was like, okay, cool. It's whatever. Plus, it's a Marvel movie, y'all. I'm not really a Marvel DC type of person. So when those movies come about, you know, I just look at the movies for what they are. I don't follow them like with the other parts and all that. So I was like, this is cool. I'm spending time with him. So we get the Papa John's. This one is real easy. We get out the car. We made the order. The lady was good. I mean, it's East Atlanta all the way. He ain't used to it. I am. I was like, don't pay her no mind. We are in East Atlanta. This is just how people are. Nobody ain't trying to be customer service friendly. Ain't nobody trying to be customer service savvy. Just take it as it is and that's it. So as we ordered the pizza, that lady told us it was going to be 10, 15 minutes. He was like, oh, I need to get me a drink before we go to the movies. So we went to the filling station across the street. Y'all, we get across the street. This guy was like, oh, man, your jacket is dope. I just shook my head and he opened up the door for me and walked in the gas station. He go talking about, see, I told you that my fur jacket is hot. Everybody like it. I said, that one person gassed you up. Don't listen to them. Your jacket is very wrong and it is too hot to be wearing a fur coat in November. So he got his little drink. Yeah, he got his little drink. We went outside, went across the street. We sat in the car. We just talked a little bit, made small talk. He got the pizza. Something happened with him and that pizza. That story is a null and void because it's whatever. And that was that. He came in. He put the pizza on top of the dash where he was at. And I was like, give me the pizza so it won't fall. And so we went back and forth about why I shouldn't get the pizza or whatever. But I ended up getting the pizza and I put it in the back seat. When I put it in the back seat, I saw it was a blanket back there. So you already know what that's headed to. So we get to the drive-in theater and the guy was like, what are you here to see? And I told him what we was here to see because, you know, it was on my side where the guy was speaking, where he was at, and he was on my side. And he said, okay, cool, that'd be $20. And so the goth guy got his pouch or whatever the hell he had with his wallet. And he's in there. And y'all, he's moving so slow. Y'all, he's moving so slow. I was just like, are you on drugs? Like, I didn't ask him that, but I was thinking like, is this nigga high or something? Mind you, I did ask him earlier, did he get high? He said he don't participate in no type of drugs. He don't even drink or anything. But his ass was moving slow as hell. And I was just like, give me the card. Come on, let's go. So I gave it to him. He was like, you're just really impatient. And I was like, it's not that I'm impatient. You already knew that we was going here. And I just don't understand what's going on. I was like, we was at the gas station. You had got your car quickly, and then we hear you going real slow. I'm like, what's the deal? He was like, you just impatient, I see. And I was like, no, you just need to be on the move. Like, y'all, when y'all get to know who I really am, I'm a person that's just on the go. Like, come on, let's go. Come on, let's move fast. Let's move some steps. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, I do take my time in doing stuff, but it's just like this was just too much going on. So anyway, we got our ticket. I got him his card. I gave it to him. We drove down to the drive-in. Y'all, he driving so slow. I'm like, I know these people that's part looking at their little piece of movie is probably pissed off because he coming in with this damn car driving 1 mile an hour to go to a screening that's way on the other side. So we get to our screen, and when we get to our screen, I don't know if you guys ever been to Starlight before or been to a drive-in, but like they're like, let's see, how do I explain it? They're like humps when you park in a parking lot. Yeah, they're like humps. So they're like two humps. And basically what you're supposed to do is when you drive your car, you drive your front tire on that hump so that way you'll be angled up to see the screen with a better view. So y'all, he cut through and he hit the other hump and he was just there. So I was just like, and he was kind of cricket. So I was just like, can you pull up to the other one? And he was like, well, I'm just trying to make sure this is a good spot. And I was like, well, we're in the middle. This is a good spot. And you got cars behind you. Just pull up to the other hump. And he was like, well, I just want to make, can you pull up to the other hump, man? I was like, you taking too long. He's like, you're just so impatient. I was like, it's a drive-in theater. I said, you already see the other rows are filled up and we're at a good spot and you're in the middle. I was like, just pull up. So he pulls up on the hump and that was that. So after we did that, I went in the back seat and got the no, I didn't go in the back seat. He went in the back seat and he got the pizza and we made some small talk. We laughed a little bit. We opened up the pizza and we started eating on the pizza and talking and the movie started and that was that. So after we had ate, we know what we wanted to eat on the pizza, he was like, oh, come on, let's go to the back seat. And I said, what you mean let's go to the back seat? So he said, I have a blanket. I want to cuddle with you while we look at the movie. And I said, we ain't got to cuddle. I am fine right here and you're fine over there. I said, let's just enjoy this movie and enjoy our date. And so he just looked at me, y'all, and I was just like, I'm not going to be doing this with you because I already foresee this is going to be my last and final straw with your ass. So we're good. So anyway, ate the pizza. He threw the box in the backyard. The backyard. That's how the hell the damn back seat look anyway. But in the back seat, and got comfortable in his seat, and that was that. And y'all, I was just there. And y'all, maybe about let me see. We ate the pizza before the movie started because they did start the screening late. And while we was eating the pizza, the movie probably played for probably a good 5-10 minutes. Y'all, excuse me, y'all, probably about 15 to 20 minutes. When I tell you this nigga was knocked out. When I say knocked out, y'all, his ass was already in tomorrow. He was so knocked out, y'all. I don't got on my phone, y'all. I don't play the little Uno. Got on Jack, got on Black, got me a little piece of date set up for next week. I was on everything because I was so bored. Y'all, I was on my phone for so long, my damn battery light came on. Well, not battery light, but the low battery indicator came on. I got his little charger, unhooked this phone, and plugged mine up because I was like, I'm not finna be sitting here with no dead phone bored, looking at this movie that I do not understand, and then the screen that we was at. Matter of fact, it wasn't even the screening where we was at. His windows had so much bullshit on it from what I was telling y'all from earlier today with all that writing. I couldn't even see the screen really. All the black was like extra black. So any scene that was like filmed where it was supposed to be nighttime or they were in a dark space like a cave or something, I couldn't make out the characters. Everybody fighting everybody. I don't know who winning or who losing. So I was just like, whatever. Now, towards the end of the movie, I kind of got a little relaxed or slumber, I guess you could say, and I kind of slouched down on the seat and I could see the screen so well. So it was just that the screen was, or the window just had so much going on, which it wasn't even fogged up really. It didn't get fogged up till like later on in the movie, but that's never the case. So that was that. After the movie went off, I woke him up. I will say this: he did wake up two times during the movie, and I asked him a question about the movie. And so as I asked him a question about the movie, I was like, "You're not going to reply to what I just said?" He's like, "Nah, you just told me the movie. I don't know what's going on." I just rolled my eyes in my head, y'all, and just threw it back on my phone. I was just like, you know what? This is a waste. And then he dozed back off. But anyway, at the end of the movie, it was time to go. And as you know, the Marvel movies, you know how they do, they roll the credits, and then after the credits, they show like a snippet of what's going to happen to a sequel that they will make. And so we saw that, and then after that went off, it was time to go. He went in the back seat and he got the pizza and started eating the pizza. And I'm like, can we go? So he said, well, I don't really want to go home yet. I really want to just hang out with you some more. And I was like, it's like 1:30 in the morning. You know, it's Friday and you're tired. You was asleep the whole time. He's like, well, I'm up now. He's like, you know, you want to go to a restaurant and just hang out and eat? And I said, no, I'm good. I said, I really want to go home. And he was like, well, do you want to go to like maybe a spot where we could kind of chill and just go to a bar or whatnot? And I was like, no, the only bar I want to go to is and I gave him my address. And that was it. So had proceeded to go home. He didn't use the navigation. Of course, I had to tell him how to get to my house. And I'm taking it that he was really sleepy because this time when he was driving his car, he still was driving slow, but towards the end, he did get up to about 60, 65. So that was kind of good. But he did take his time driving that goddamn car. And he was weaving. I ain't gonna say he was weaving. He would merge over to a lane without a signal. And then, of course, the famous signal light would cut on and then it would never turn off. But anyway, we got to my place and I thanked him for the day and told him to give me a text when he get home. So then he told me, he's like, I hope I make it home. And I figured that because he was tired. And I said, oh, you'll be fine. Just text me when you get home. And y'all, he texted me, he got home, and that was it. And then I had to make my TikTok, and that was it. That is my story. This video is so fucking long. But anyway, I don't know how I got into this situation. I really don't, because I FaceTime with the boy and everything was going good and his conversation was cool and he does have a little slight cuteness for him. But I guess when I seen him like actually in person, it was so different. You know, it was the clothing, that goddamn fur coat. That's what I should say. He's very unkept and I didn't like that part. Which I should have known that part because there were little things that he was showing me when we used to FaceTime each other, I just did not like or just had a bad taste in my mouth. But then when I see him in person, I was just like, oh my gosh, this shit is for real. He was just very unkept. There's a lot of stuff about him that I didn't even discuss with y'all that it was just like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe that he does that. Matter of fact, one of my friends that used to have dreads, I was giving him an example of something that he did or did not do. And my friend was like, Jerome, that's just an unkept person. Like, I could just imagine how it's going to be once they have to redo, his hair again and so on and so forth. And y'all, I know that I do have a slight case of OCD and I am very particular, but this was even beyond my other friends that are not even like me. But anyway, that's my situation, my dates that I had from the goth guy. That's it. So let me let y'all go. Make sure y'all like, share, subscribe. Tell your mama, sister, brother, cousin, sister, friend, even the motherfucking enemy. Because, they like to keep our names in their mouth. And, I like my business in the street. But anyway, I will talk to y'all later. It's me, Jerome. Bye, y'all.